Now on the CTV News at 5, it's a unique opportunity for young doctors.
We feel that those barriers will be somewhat eased.
Admissions are open for a new Southern Alberta medical program. Plus, Canada's best target shooters arrive in the town of Taber. More than 450 competitors are here for the National Handgun Championships. And more extreme weather, rural communities are hit hard by hail after a Sunday storm.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge
with Mark Villani.
Thank you for joining us. The University of Lethbridge and the University of Calgary are partnering up to kickstart a new chapter in Alberta's medical education system. Both post-secondary institutions announced admissions are now open for the Southern Alberta Medical Program, a 3-year Doctor of Medicine program designed for students ready to build their future in rural and regional healthcare. It's a unique opportunity where students can now earn their UCalgary medical degree while completing their training in Southern Alberta. The partnership, funded by the provincial government, aims to use a distributed education model to emphasize the continuity of care, community connections, and clinical readiness.
Having access to medical education is such a vital component to recruiting physicians. Many folks have expressed interest in becoming physicians. They would find it a real challenge to uproot their family and their careers and their lives to go to a more urban center such as Calgary or Edmonton. So by having it closer to home, we feel that those barriers will be somewhat eased.
The first cohort of the Southern Alberta Medical Program will begin learning in July of next year. Applications are now open online through the University of Calgary's admissions portal. 2 people are dead and 1 injured after a hit and run on Siksika Nation. Gleason RCMP say 5 people were out walking when they were hit by a vehicle around 9:30 Saturday night. 2 men aged 27 and 45 were killed, and a 45-year-old woman was taken to hospital in critical condition. RCMP say the other 2 people in the group were not injured. The driver did not stick around. Anyone with footage from the area between 8 and 10 p.m. is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Lethbridge police are looking for witnesses or any information related to an assault with a weapon that took place earlier this month outside the Walmart on Mayor McGrath Drive. This incident happened just before 7:40 p.m. on July 12th. Police have now identified this individual seen in this photograph, but they won't release his name. It's alleged he was involved in a verbal altercation inside the store that carried on into the parking lot and led to the use of a weapon. Investigators now want to speak with the person linked to this orange hot rod with no hood who may have witnessed the assault. If you have any information, video footage, or know the owner of this vehicle, you're asked to call Lethbridge Police or Crime Stoppers. Lethbridge police are reminding drivers to slow down in construction zones after officers issued nearly 50 speeding tickets on Whoop Up Drive in a matter of hours. The construction zone crackdown took place on Friday when dozens of drivers were stopped for speeding between 20 to 30 kilometers over the posted limit. One driver in particular was clocked at 45 kilometers over the limit as crews were working just a few feet away. With the summer road construction season in full swing, police are reminding drivers to slow down and stay alert. In Alberta, speed fines are doubled in construction zones when workers are present. Danielle is in now with a first look at weather, and we're really optimistic for some drier conditions coming up.
Exactly, especially with the map behind me here, Mark. We have to stay positive and stay focused on the bright weather and the warmer weather to come. But until then, this is what we're dealing with. So all of southern Alberta is under severe thunderstorm watch, and in the orange, these are severe thunderstorm warnings. We have the potential for ping pong ball size hail, especially along parts of Highway 2 throughout this next hour or so, and then that risk dies down, but there's more rain on the way from the south. So we're not done with the rain for today. It will continue in many communities tonight, and then things will start to shape up tomorrow. At this point, 20 degrees in Lethbridge under severe thunderstorm watch, 20 degrees in Brooks, and 23 in Medicine Hat. More details coming up, Mark.
Thanks, Danielle. Now, speaking of that extreme weather, thunderstorms developing over the southern Alberta foothills this weekend quickly did turn severe, especially in the town of Cardston. It may be the middle of summer, but images are surfacing from Sunday night's hailstorm that made it look more like the dead of winter in some parts. The hail was as big as tennis balls, according to reports from nearby homeowners. Damage from the blast of extreme weather also shredded leaves on trees and battered some crops in areas. Parts of Main Street were flooded as well because of this heavy rain. The Canadian Handgun Nationals are being held in the MD of Taber this week. It's the first time the event is taking place in Alberta since 2017. Quinn Keenan now with the details.
Plenty of gunshots are ringing out from the Taber Sports Shooting Complex. Over 400 competitors from across Canada and the United States are setting their sights on becoming the Canadian champion, all of them taking part in 18 fast-paced and unique stages.
Everything's just come together beautifully. Chinook Country Shooters is really proud and really fortunate to bring Canadian competitors together.
The Nationals are being hosted by the Chinook Country Shooters Club. Several of its members are involved in the week-long competition. It's taken over a year of planning, but for the members, it's worth it.
It's an honor just to be involved. There's a ton of work to do, but we've had really good help, and from other clubs or ranges throughout Alberta as well. They've brought down equipment, and some of them come down to help build.
The event is also a major economic boost for the area. It's projected to add up to $1 million to the provincial economy as participants stay, shop, and dine in and around Taber.
Incredible showcase to have this much economic driving from all across Canada, and we know they're visiting our hotels, our restaurants, our shops, and taking in all that is great in our region.
Safety is top of mind for any shooting event like this. Plenty of precautions are taken to make sure no one is in harm's way. Pre-competition for the national championship is set to go until Tuesday. The main competition begins Wednesday and runs until Sunday. Quinn Keenan, CTV News, outside Taber.
Stars Air Ambulance and the Taber Charity Auction are celebrating a significant milestone in their long-standing partnership. The charity has now donated more than $1 million to Stars and its life-saving efforts. To mark the occasion, the charity's logo is now proudly displayed on the tail fin of a Stars helicopter. The logo recognizes a long-lasting and meaningful partnership. Last year, Stars carried out 293 missions across southern Alberta, 15 of which included helicopter dispatches to the town of Taber. Over to federal politics now, and the number of candidates running against Pierre Poilievre in the upcoming by-election has officially surpassed 200. In fact, Elections Canada currently has 209 names on the ballot. Today is the final day to submit nominations for that August 18th by-election in Battle River Crowfoot. Poilievre is hoping to win this seat after losing his riding of Carleton in the spring election. Last week, he wrote a letter to the government House leader asking the Liberals to pass a law with stricter rules for people who want their name on federal ballot sheets. Well, it's a highly contagious disease, and it's becoming more prominent in southern Alberta. Still ahead, we bring you the latest update from the province regarding new measles cases.
All right, here's your sky cam facing northwest, and there is a risk today. There's a risk today in all communities in southern Alberta for the risk of severe thunderstorms. That's why there's a watch in place for everywhere in the south. Where it's most likely is along Highway 2. I'll show you that in just a little bit. Okay, what's going on temperature-wise? Well, it's been on the cooler side for most communities. We're going to start to rebound, but we're not quite there yet in most areas. Calgary so far just a high of 17, Edmonton 19, and you can see areas around us certainly warmer. Vancouver 25, Regina 25. We'll get into those higher 20s. It's just going to take a day or two for most areas. Speaking of temperatures, at least we're in the 20s here. 20 in Brooks, 21 in Lethbridge. This is more like normal temperatures for this time of year, even though most communities are still quite a bit below normal. On average, about 4 to 5 degrees below normal in the far south. Okay, when we look at the watches and warnings, in the yellow, this is the severe thunderstorm watch, which means nothing tracking towards the area at the moment, but there is the potential. And when you see the orange, that's the severe thunderstorm warning that is in place. So again, all the areas closer along the foothills and towards Highway 2 are looking at the biggest chance of seeing those more severe thunderstorms, the larger size hail ping pong ball size hail has already been reported, and that's because of these cells right here. So this will continue to develop in through the foothills and track off to the east. I want to zoom into this just to kind of give you an idea. So this is where we have the most likely possibility. Yes, along QE2, but certainly along Highway 2 south of Calgary is where we're going to see the worst cells likely for the next couple of hours. And then there's another bunch of storm cells that are tracking stateside and tracking in towards the Medicine Hat area. So thunderstorms are possible through even the evening and overnight hours, and then things quiet down. So just a look at this is at 9 p.m. Let's fast forward here to tomorrow. Tomorrow looks mainly stable for much of the day, but there will be some development, especially in the foothills in the far south here and tracking off. Likely we won't see this in Lethbridge, but we could see this in Pincher Creek, Crozes Pass area, and we could even see a little bit in the Medicine Hat area as well later in the day tomorrow. But the bulk of the day will be bright. And we're also looking at, for Lethbridge, overall a nice stable day for tomorrow and less likely to see any thunderstorm activity. Okay, East Kootenay area, the risk of showers and thunderstorms for this evening and throughout the overnight hours, then quiet tomorrow, sun and cloud and a high of 30. Crozes Pass, again, the risk of thunderstorms. Some of these could be even severe. And then 22 tomorrow. Small risk of any sort of shower thunderstorm activity later in the day tomorrow. And you're looking at a mix of sun and cloud throughout the day. Medicine Hat, risk of thunderstorms really for the next 7 hours, and then that dies out. Bright for the morning, and then later in the day, the risk of thunderstorms again. 26 degrees is your high for tomorrow. 25 for Lethbridge. Fog patches developing overnight, lasting in through tomorrow. Not looking really at a chance for the Lethbridge area for any sort of instability, just a mix of sun and cloud. And look at that, getting close to that 30 mark, which it's been a while for Wednesday and Thursday.
The province is reporting dozens of new measles cases over the weekend in Alberta. As of noon today, there are 1,574 measles cases in the province, with 36 new cases since Friday. Of those, 14 are in the south, which has now surpassed 900 cases in that zone alone. 5 more in Calgary, no new infections in Edmonton, and 17 more measles cases in the north zone. Now, currently, 1 person is in hospital. Measles is highly contagious, and the best protection is 2 doses of this vaccine for measles. Nurses from all around the world are visiting southern Alberta in an effort to tackle some of today's most pressing health issues. The Global Network of Public Health Nursing Conference is now underway at the University of Calgary and Mount Royal University. Events on both campuses this week will aim to connect researchers and health leaders from diverse backgrounds to tackle issues on global health security, recovery after COVID-19, along with discussion topics on climate and environmental change. Workshops at this event hope to gain insight on latest trends and how to support the next generation of nurses.
We ought to be really promoting things that will keep our population healthy. I see a lot of things happening downstream, and so what that means is we wait for people to get ill before we take action. What we want to do is flip the script and make sure that we're doing things to keep people healthy and prevent them from getting sick to begin with.
This is the 7th International Global Network of Public Health Nursing Conference. The event starts today and continues until the end of Wednesday. Well, with summer in full swing, doctors are urging people to keep slathering on the sunscreen. But misinformation online is creating an uphill battle for those trying to keep us safe. CTV's Kathy Lee has one man's warning to others about the false narratives.
The sun hangs heavy in the sky, but Corey Broland finds reprieve in the cool embrace of the shade. He's mindful of the rays for a good reason.
It was basal cell skin cancer.
Broland was diagnosed last year after a bump on his head wouldn't heal.
I had a procedure done in January where they removed it.
The 45-year-old admits he was never diligent about sunscreen, but that's all changed now.
It's like a regular daily skin cream that got to put on, so every day I do that.
Doctors say sunscreen protects the skin from harmful UV radiation, which can cause skin cancer. But videos on social media like these.
Sunscreen is actually bad for you and can actually cause skin cancer.
A lot of these are linked to cancer, so this is a no for me.
Making it more difficult to keep the facts straight.
They want it to go viral. They want it to be controversial. So they've really taken us, I would say, decades back in terms of sun safety. Reviews from American Academy of Dermatology and Health Canada found that there's no cause for concern with normal sunscreen use.
Spreading misinformation like that scares me a bit, because this isn't a hard cancer to get.
Skin cancers fall into two categories, non-melanoma and melanoma, the latter being the deadliest form. Data on Melanoma Canada's website shows in 2024, more than 11,000 Canadians would be diagnosed with melanoma, up 17% from the year before. Broland is thankful he wasn't diagnosed with melanoma, but he's not in the clear yet.
That one popped up about.
He'll need to be treated again for a cancer spot on his face, found shortly after the one on his head healed.
They'll just cut it out layer by layer.
And until that appointment, Broland will continue to be sun safe. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
If you're worried about getting Alzheimer's, getting your daily steps in could help. A new study shows walking daily can reduce the risk of cognitive decline, especially among people with a genetic predisposition for Alzheimer's. Almost 3,000 participants between the ages of 70 and 79 reported their daily walking habits over the course of 10 years. Those who reported maintaining or increasing walking habits showed greater improvements in processing speed and executive function. More research will be needed to understand why that is. The study results will be presented Tuesday at the annual Alzheimer's Association International Conference, but it's not yet been peer-reviewed or published in a professional journal. Well, for the first time since 1992, they're the best team in Major League Baseball. Coming up, we take a look at how the Blue Jays are benefiting on and off the diamond. Welcome back. The Lethbridge Bulls had their game postponed Sunday afternoon against the Okotoks Dogs due to rain. In other action across the league, the Brooks Bombers had a doubleheader on Sunday. The team welcomed the Energy City Cactus Rats to Elk Stadium for a matinee. The Cactus Rats would take the first game 10-4. In the second game, the Cactus Rats recorded 10 runs in the first inning, but the Bombers would climb their way back to take a 16-14 victory. Now tonight, the Bombers have another doubleheader against two different teams. First, Brooks will have a rematch against the Cactus Rats before facing off against the Sylvan Lake Gulls at 7:30. And the Medicine Hat Mavericks back in action tonight as well when they host the Swift Current 57s. Well, the Toronto Blue Jays are in the midst of one of the most successful and exciting runs in the team's history. And as CTV's Camille Karamali tells us, all that success on the field is having some wide-ranging benefits off the field as well.
And Springer drills it.
It's been win after win.
It's gone!
After win.
Guerrero!
And the hits just keep on coming. The Toronto Blue Jays have been on a tear.
Fair ball!
And after taking 3 wins out of 4 against the Detroit Tigers, they stand alone atop the standings. Now the best team in baseball.
I mean, we're on top of the world.
Throws to first!
Something that hasn't happened this late in the season since 1992 when they won the World Series.
They have great offense, right? It's super deep. They have up and down the line of guys that can put up great at-bats and work.
That deep offense has ticket prices soaring. Seats that were $30 last season now going for as much as 5 times that amount. While the bats are booming, so is business.
Crowds are in by 2 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game. Like, compared to last year, there's just a buzz around the game.
A matinee game on a Sunday, allowing businesses to cash in with increased profits.
From last year, probably a good 15 to 20% better.
That's because the team's success is reeling in new fans.
I've always watched just a few innings here and there, but now, I love watching the whole game.
And converting those across Canada.
I'm from St. John's, Newfoundland.
Okay, and are there a lot of Jays fans there?
I'm sure there are.
Not knowing how far the team can go.
Very exciting. Very exciting. I think this is their year.
With just about a third of the season left, anything can happen in the regular season, but a team can usually put themselves in a pretty good spot to make the playoffs if they have 90 or more wins. The Jays right now with over 60 wins, and looks like they have a lot more left in the tank. Kamil Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Canada's Summer McIntosh is now 2 for 2 in the pool at the World Championships in Singapore.
And Summer McIntosh is going to win it, and win it very, very well. It's Walsh in second place. McIntosh takes another gold medal for Canada.
The 18-year-old Canadian won the 200-meter individual medley. She fell about a second short of her own world record time, which she set back at the Canadian trials earlier this year. Next up for McIntosh is the 200-meter butterfly, with the semifinals scheduled for Wednesday and the final on Thursday. Over to tennis now, and another incredible accomplishment from one of Canada's best female athletes.
Fantastic Fernandez dominates in DC.
Tennis star Leylah Fernandez of Montreal won the biggest title of her career last night. The 22-year-old cruised in the final, defeating Anna Kalinskaya in straight sets to take the DC Open. This is Fernandez's fourth WTA title and first since 2023. She has her first match in the National Bank Open tomorrow in Montreal. Closer to home now, athletes braved the rain for the Calgary Ironman on Sunday. It wasn't ideal conditions as participants swam, biked, and ran the course in the city's northwest. 1,100 athletes from 16 countries competed. The event also serves as a World Championship qualifying race for Nice, France in 2026. Well, still ahead, the Prince of Darkness is being remembered in a big way by his fans. An old Ozzy Osbourne album is skyrocketing to the top of the Billboard charts following the heavy metal singer's passing last week. Fans of Ozzy Osbourne have been streaming his hits in the days following his death, which has sent one of his albums rocketing up the charts. The heavy metal icon's 2003 compilation, The Essential Ozzy Osbourne, has hit number 7 on the Billboard Top 100. That marks his 10th album to reach the top 10. Osbourne, who had been battling Parkinson's disease, died last week at the age of 76. Beyoncé capped off her Cowboy Carter tour in Las Vegas with some very special guests. Destiny's Child reunited on stage with Michelle Williams and Kelly Rowland, joining Beyoncé to play a medley of the group's biggest hits. The last time the three took the stage together was back in 2018. Beyoncé's husband Jay-Z also performed at the final show. Well, Southern Alberta's Ben Putt has once again been crowned Canada's best barista. Ben Putt co-owns Monogram Coffee and competed in the Canadian Championships this weekend in Edmonton. The field started with 18 competitors and narrowed down to 6 finalists. Each barista had to impress the panel of judges with ingredients, taste, and technique. This is the 7th time Putt has won this championship. He will represent Canada at the World Barista Championships this fall. Well, thank you very much for joining us. That's all the time we have for this newscast. Now, the early edition of the CTV National News.